Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today, we're diving into one of the most debated topics in personal growth and success, the role of hard work. Is it truly the secret sauce that fuels achievement, or is there more going on behind the scenes? Sophia and I are here to peel back the layers and find out.
That's right, Adam. Hard work is one of those concepts we hear about from the moment we're kids. Work hard and you'll succeed. But have you ever wondered, is hard work alone enough? Or are we missing key ingredients like timing, connections, or even sheer luck?
Exactly. In this episode, we'll unpack the science of hard work, share some incredible success stories, and even explore the darker side, like burnout and the pressure to hustle. And trust me, this is a conversation that'll make you rethink how you approach your goals.
Plus, we've got some surprising insights about how the digital age has completely changed what it means to work hard. So, whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or someone just trying to level up, this episode is for you.
Let's jump in. But before we do, here's a quick question for you. What role do you think hard work has played in your own journey? Keep that in mind as we dive deep, because we're about to challenge everything you thought you knew about success. So, Sophia, let's get into the psychology of hard work. What do you think makes some people push through challenges while others give up?
It all starts with mindset, Adam. Psychologist Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset is a game changer here. People with a growth mindset believe they can improve through effort, while those with a fixed mindset think their abilities are set in stone.
The classic nature versus nurture debate, right? But it makes sense. If you believe you can improve, you're more likely to keep trying. What role does motivation play in this?
Motivation is huge. It's what gets you started. But here's the thing. There are two types. Intrinsic motivation, which comes from within, like passion or the joy of learning, and extrinsic motivation, which is driven by external rewards, like money or recognition.
Okay, but if motivation is so important, what happens on those days when you just don't feel it?
That's when discipline takes over. Motivation gets you going, but discipline is what keeps you consistent. It's about forming habits, showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's what separates a fleeting effort from lasting results.
Right. Consistency is key. That reminds me of Angela Duckworth's concept of grit. Isn't that about sticking to long-term goals?
Exactly. Grit combines passion and perseverance. It's not just about working harder, but also about working smarter. Gritty people adjust their strategies when they hit roadblocks instead of giving up.
That's powerful. But let's be real, fear of failure can stop anyone in their tracks. How do people overcome that?
Great point. The key is to reframe failure as feedback. Instead of seeing it as a dead end, view it as a lesson. And resilience plays a big role here. It's the ability to bounce back stronger after setbacks.
I've heard about the dopamine effect. Is that tied to hard work?
Absolutely. When you achieve even small goals, your brain releases dopamine, making you feel good. That's why breaking big goals into smaller milestones can keep you motivated. It's like a built-in reward system.
Interesting. What about this idea of flow that people talk about? Is that part of the psychology of hard work?
Totally. Flow is when you're so immersed in a task that time flies. It happens when you're tackling something challenging but not overwhelming. It's the sweet spot where hard work feels both productive and enjoyable.
Okay, so we've got motivation, grit, and flow. But what about self-belief? How important is it in all this?
Self-belief, or self-efficacy, is crucial. If you believe you can succeed, you're more likely to put in the effort. And it's not just blind confidence, it's built through positive self-talk, visualizing success, and reflecting on past wins.
That's inspiring. But let's not forget about stress. Hard work often comes with a lot of it. How do people manage that?
Stress management is essential. Techniques like mindfulness, meditation, and exercise can help. It's about making hard work sustainable, because if stress isn't managed, burnout becomes a real risk.
So, it's about finding that balance between pushing hard and knowing when to step back. Any final thoughts on resilience?
Resilience is the backbone of hard work. It's what helps you adapt and thrive under pressure. People build resilience by embracing challenges, seeking support when needed, and practicing gratitude. It's not about avoiding struggle. It's about growing through it.
Sophia, when we talk about hard work, I think one of the best ways to inspire people is by looking at historical icons who've truly embodied it. These are the individuals who remind us that success is often earned through relentless effort. Who comes to your mind first?
Absolutely, Adam. Let's start with Thomas Edison. He's practically the poster child for perseverance. Did you know he tested over 10,000 materials before successfully inventing the light bulb?
10,000? That's insane. Most people would give up after a handful of failures.
Exactly. But Edison famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." He didn't rely on natural talent alone. He believed in grinding through challenges until he found a solution.
So, his story isn't just about inventing the light bulb, it's a masterclass in persistence. What's the biggest takeaway from Edison's journey?
It's that true innovation often comes through trial and error. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it and learning from it.
That's powerful. Speaking of resilience, Oprah Winfrey is another icon whose story blows me away. She grew up in poverty, faced significant hardships, and yet rose to become a media mogul and a billionaire. How did she do it?
Oprah's success is a testament to hard work and focus. She started as a news anchor, and despite facing criticism and setbacks, she worked tirelessly to refine her skills. She transformed The Oprah Winfrey Show into a global phenomenon, touching millions of lives.
She's such a great example of turning adversity into fuel for success. I remember she said something like, "Where there is no struggle, there is no strength." Her story shows that hard work is often about overcoming personal challenges as much as professional ones.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that where you start doesn't define where you end up. Hard work combined with vision can break through even the toughest barriers.
That's inspiring. Now let's switch gears to the sports world. Michael Jordan, he's often called the greatest basketball player of all time, but people forget how much effort went into his success.
Totally. Jordan's story is as much about discipline as it is about talent. He once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed."
Wow. So it's not just about winning, but also about learning from failure.
Exactly. Jordan was known for his rigorous training routines. He would outwork everyone even during the off-season. His dedication to constant improvement is what made him legendary.
Okay, so we've covered an inventor, a media mogul, and a sports legend. Let's talk about someone from the creative world. How about J.K. Rowling?
Great choice. Before Harry Potter, Rowling was a single mom living on welfare. She wrote her first book in cafes, often struggling to afford a meal. And get this, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was rejected by 12 publishers before it finally got accepted.
12 rejections? That's brutal. Most people would have given up.
But she didn't. Rowling once said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." She believed in her story and kept pushing through rejection. Today, she's one of the most successful authors in history.
Her story is a reminder that belief in your work is just as important as hard work itself. Let's wrap up with a modern icon, Elon Musk. What's his secret?
Musk is the definition of working smart and hard. He's known for putting in 80 to 100-hour work weeks. Whether it's Tesla, SpaceX, or any of his other ventures, he's deeply involved in every aspect, often sleeping on factory floors to meet deadlines.
That's next-level commitment. I remember he once said, "Work like hell. You just have to put in the hours." But it's not just about working long hours, is it?
Not at all. Musk combines his work ethic with a visionary mindset. He's not just working hard, he's solving some of the world's biggest challenges. His story shows that when you pair hard work with a clear mission, the impact can be monumental.
So, from Edison to Musk, these icons all teach us one thing. Hard work is the foundation, but it's the persistence, belief, and adaptability that make it all pay off.
Exactly, Adam. And no matter where you're starting from, these stories prove that relentless effort can lead to extraordinary success.
So, Sophia, we've talked about historical icons of hard work, but let's get into the science behind it. Why does hard work lead to success, and what's actually happening in our brains and bodies when we push ourselves?
That's a fascinating question, Adam. Let's start with the basics. Hard work isn't just about physical effort. It's a complex interplay of psychology, neuroscience, and biology. At its core, it's about building habits and creating the right mental framework to sustain effort over time.
Interesting. So does that mean hard work is more about consistency than just intensity?
Exactly. The brain thrives on consistency because of something called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to rewire itself through repeated behaviors. When you work hard on a task consistently, you're literally reshaping your brain to become better at it.
Wait, so the more we practice something, the more our brain adapts to make it easier or more efficient?
Spot on. For example, when you're learning a new skill, the neural pathways involved are weak at first, which is why it feels so difficult. But with repetition, these pathways strengthen, and the task becomes second nature. This is why the phrase "practice makes perfect" is rooted in science.
That's incredible. But what about motivation? Why do some people seem to stay motivated longer than others?
Motivation is closely tied to the brain's reward system. When you achieve a goal, even a small one, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This reinforces the behavior and makes you want to repeat it.
So, setting and achieving small goals can keep the dopamine flowing and keep you motivated?
Exactly. That's why breaking big goals into smaller, actionable steps is so effective. Every time you check something off your list, you get a little dopamine boost. Over time, this creates a positive feedback loop that keeps you going.
That makes sense. But what about grit? I've heard that grit or perseverance is a better predictor of success than even IQ. Is there science to back that up?
Absolutely. Psychologist Angela Duckworth conducted extensive research on grit and found that it's a critical factor in success. People with high grit tend to stay focused on long-term goals despite obstacles or failures. Neurologically, this ties back to the brain's ability to regulate emotions and stay committed.
So, it's not just about working hard, it's about working hard for a long time, even when things get tough.
Exactly. Grit is what helps you push through the discomfort of failure or slow progress. It's also tied to the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and self-control. Strong prefrontal activity helps you resist the urge to quit when things get hard.
That's fascinating. But hard work isn't always easy. What about burnout? How does that factor into the science of success?
Great question. Burnout happens when the stress of hard work overwhelms your ability to recover. It's a biological response. Your body produces too much cortisol, the stress hormone, for too long, which can lead to fatigue, anxiety, and even physical health issues.
Yikes. So how do we avoid burnout while still working hard?
It's all about balance and recovery. Studies show that incorporating regular breaks, physical activity, and mindfulness practices can reduce cortisol levels and improve focus. Sleep is another huge factor. When you're sleep deprived, your brain's ability to process and retain information decreases significantly.
Sleep, huh? That makes sense. But what about the idea of hustle culture? You know, the constant push to work 24/7. Is there science to support that? Or is it more harmful than helpful?
Hustle culture might seem productive in the short term, but research suggests it's counterproductive in the long run. Overworking can impair cognitive function, decrease creativity, and even lead to decision-making errors. The science is clear. Sustainable success requires a balance between effort and recovery.
So, working smarter, not just harder, is key?
Exactly. And working smarter often involves leveraging the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. This suggests that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. By identifying and focusing on the most impactful tasks, you can maximize productivity without overworking.
That's so practical. But let's talk about mindset. How does the way we think influence our ability to work hard?
Mindset is everything. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset shows that people who believe they can improve through effort are more likely to persevere through challenges. On the other hand, a fixed mindset can make people give up when they encounter difficulties because they see failure as a reflection of their inherent abilities.
So, believing that effort leads to improvement can literally change the way we approach hard work?
Exactly. And here's another layer: visualization. Athletes and high achievers often use visualization techniques to mentally rehearse success. This primes the brain for performance by activating the same neural pathways you'd use during the actual task.
That's amazing. So, visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's actually training your brain?
Absolutely. And when combined with consistent effort and resilience, it can supercharge your results. The science behind hard work and success ultimately boils down to creating habits, managing stress, and maintaining a positive, growth-oriented mindset.
Wow, Sophia. This conversation really opened my eyes. Hard work isn't just about grinding endlessly. It's about understanding the science behind it and working strategically to achieve your goals.
Exactly, Adam. And once you understand the why and how behind hard work, it becomes a lot easier to stay motivated and push through challenges.
I love it. So, to everyone listening, remember, hard work isn't just physical. It's psychological, biological, and even neurological. Learn the science, work smart, and success will follow. Sophia, we've covered so much about hard work and its internal factors like mindset, motivation, and resilience. But let's talk about something we can't always control: external factors. How much do they influence success?
External factors play a significant role, Adam. While hard work is critical, it often interacts with things like environment, opportunities, social networks, and even timing. These elements can either accelerate or hinder someone's path to success.
Interesting. Let's start with the environment. How does where we grow up or work impact our ability to succeed?
Our environment shapes our mindset and habits. For example, growing up in a supportive community or being in a workplace that values growth can boost your chances of success. Conversely, toxic environments can drain your energy and stifle your potential.
That makes sense. But what if someone's environment isn't ideal? Can hard work overcome that?
Absolutely. But it's more challenging. People in tough environments often need to develop extra resilience and resourcefulness. They might have to seek mentors, relocate, or find ways to create their own supportive networks.
Speaking of networks, how important is social connection in achieving success?
It's crucial. Research shows that having the right connections can open doors to opportunities you might not get otherwise. Networking isn't just about knowing people, it's about building meaningful relationships that inspire growth and collaboration.
So, it's not just about working hard, but also working smart by surrounding yourself with the right people. That reminds me, how much does timing play a role in success?
Timing can be everything. Being at the right place at the right time can accelerate success. For example, Bill Gates had access to one of the few computers in the world during his teenage years, which gave him a head start in programming.
Wow, that's a great example. But isn't timing something we can't control?
Partially, yes, but you can increase your chances of good timing by staying prepared. The phrase luck is when preparation meets opportunity really holds true here. When you're ready, you can capitalize on opportunities that others might miss.
That's a solid point. Let's talk about access to resources. How does that factor into success?
Access to resources like education, tools, and funding can make or break someone's journey. A student with access to great teachers and materials will likely outperform someone without those advantages. But again, this doesn't mean hard work isn't important. It just means the playing field isn't always level.
So what can people do if they lack resources?
Get creative. In today's digital world, there's a wealth of free or affordable resources online. From tutorials to free courses, knowledge is more accessible than ever. It might take more effort, but resourceful people can often find a way.
Great advice. But what about luck? Some people argue that success is mostly luck. How do you see it?
Luck does play a role, but it's not the whole story. Think of luck as an external factor that hard work positions you to take advantage of. If you're not prepared, even the best opportunity might pass you by.
Got it. Preparation turns lucky breaks into tangible success. Lastly, let's talk about cultural and societal influences. How do they shape someone's work ethic or opportunities?
Huge impact. Cultural values can shape how people view hard work. For example, some cultures place a strong emphasis on discipline and perseverance, which can create a natural drive to succeed. At the same time, societal barriers like discrimination or systemic inequality can make it harder for some people to achieve their goals.
So, society can either lift people up or hold them back. What's the solution to overcoming these barriers?
It's a combination of personal effort and systemic change. On a personal level, building resilience and seeking allies can help. On a larger scale, advocating for equal opportunities and inclusive policies can make a big difference.
Sophia, we've talked about hard work from historical, scientific, and external perspectives. But here's something I think about a lot. How has the concept of hard work evolved in the digital age? Are we working harder, smarter, or just differently?
That's a fantastic topic, Adam. The digital age has completely reshaped how we define and approach hard work. On one hand, technology has made certain tasks easier and more efficient. On the other hand, it's created a 24/7 work culture that can blur boundaries between effort and exhaustion.
Right. Let's start with the positives. Technology has made it possible to automate repetitive tasks and access information instantly. How does that affect hard work?
Automation and instant access to information mean we can focus more on creative and strategic work rather than manual, time-consuming tasks. For example, think about how tools like AI, project management software, or even basic apps like email have transformed productivity. They allow us to get more done in less time.
So, does that mean we're more productive now than, say, 50 years ago?
In some ways, yes. Studies show that workers today produce more in an hour than they did decades ago, thanks to technology. However, this increased productivity comes with a catch. People often feel the need to always be on, leading to burnout.
That's so true. With smartphones and laptops, work can follow you everywhere. Do you think this constant connectivity is harming our ability to work hard effectively?
Absolutely. The always-on culture can make people feel like they're working hard, but in reality, it often leads to busy work, tasks that feel productive but don't contribute meaningfully to long-term goals. This is where the concept of deep work becomes important.
Deep work? What's that?
Deep work is a term coined by Cal Newport. It refers to focused, distraction-free work on tasks that create real value. In contrast, shallow work, like constantly checking emails or social media, keeps you busy but doesn't lead to significant progress.
So in the digital age, hard work isn't just about putting in hours. It's about how effectively we use those hours.
Exactly. The challenge now is managing distractions. With notifications, emails, and endless social media feeds, staying focused has become harder than ever. The average person checks their phone around 96 times a day.
That's wild. So how do we overcome these distractions and stay focused?
There are a few strategies. 1. Time blocking. Allocate specific times for focused work and turn off distractions during those periods. 2. The Pomodoro technique. Work in short, focused bursts with breaks in between to maintain energy. 3. Digital minimalism. Be intentional about the apps and platforms you use. Remove anything that doesn't serve a clear purpose.
Those are great tips. But technology isn't all bad, right? What about how it's opened up opportunities for people to work hard and succeed in entirely new ways?
Absolutely. The digital age has democratized access to information and opportunities. Think about online courses, remote work, freelancing platforms, and even social media. These tools allow anyone with an internet connection to learn new skills, start businesses, or reach a global audience.
That's true. People can now build careers on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, or even by selling products on Etsy. Does that mean hard work looks different now?
Yes and no. The fundamentals of hard work, discipline, consistency, and persistence haven't changed. What's changed is the way we apply them. For example, a YouTuber's hard work involves brainstorming content, filming, editing, and engaging with their audience. It's still work, but the tools and medium are digital.
So, in a way, the digital age has expanded the definition of hard work. But doesn't it also increase competition since everyone has access to the same tools?
That's a good point. The barriers to entry are lower, which means more people are competing in the same spaces. To stand out, you need not only to work hard, but also to work strategically. That means understanding your niche, leveraging data, and constantly innovating.
Let's talk about the role of data. In the digital age, hard work often includes analyzing metrics, whether it's website traffic, social media engagement, or sales data. Is that a skill people need to succeed today?
Absolutely. Data literacy is becoming essential. The ability to interpret and act on data can give you a competitive edge. For instance, an entrepreneur who analyzes customer behavior can tailor their product more effectively, making their hard work more impactful.
That's fascinating. But does all this technology make hard work easier or harder overall?
It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's easier to access tools and opportunities. On the other hand, the digital age demands a new kind of hard work, one that involves focus, adaptability, and constant learning. Success now requires balancing effort with smart strategies.
So, the key takeaway is that while the digital age has transformed hard work, it hasn't replaced it. The tools have changed, but the principles remain the same.
Exactly, Adam. Hard work in the digital age is about leveraging technology to enhance productivity while avoiding its pitfalls. If you can master that balance, the possibilities are endless.
Well said, Sophia. To everyone listening, remember, the digital world offers incredible tools, but it's how you use them and how you stay focused that truly defines success. Sophia, we've been talking a lot about the theory and principles behind hard work, but what really resonates with people are real-life stories. Stories of people who faced challenges, worked tirelessly, and then reaped the rewards. Have you heard any stories recently that really stood out to you?
Absolutely, Adam. I love hearing real stories of success because they make hard work feel more tangible. One that always comes to mind is the story of a woman named Maya. She shared her journey with us through social media. Maya was a single mother working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. She had always dreamed of becoming a graphic designer, but life had other plans, until she decided to make a change.
That's amazing. So what did Maya do to turn things around?
Well, Maya made a decision one day to commit to learning graphic design, even with her busy schedule. She didn't have the luxury of time, but she took small, consistent steps. She began by watching free tutorials during her lunch breaks, and after a few months, she had built enough of a portfolio to land a freelance gig. She stayed up late working on projects while still managing her day jobs. It wasn't easy, but she was determined.
That's inspiring. It's like she carved out time for her dreams in the cracks of her busy life. How did that commitment pay off for her?
After about a year, Maya had enough work to quit one of her jobs, and a few months later, she was able to go full-time as a freelance designer. She now runs her own design agency and has even been able to hire a small team. But the best part of her story, Adam, is that she didn't give up. She stayed committed, even when the going got tough. And that's a powerful message about the payoff of hard work.
That's such a beautiful story, Sophia. It really shows that with focus and persistence, you can make your dreams a reality, even if you're balancing a million things at once. But you're right. These stories are incredible. It's not just the big-name success stories that matter. The small personal victories make all the difference.
Exactly. And I think hearing stories like Maya's helps others realize that they can do the same thing. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or having unlimited resources. It's about taking small, consistent steps forward, even if those steps seem insignificant at the time.
That's such a great perspective. And it's a reminder that hard work doesn't always look glamorous. It's in the daily grind, the hustle behind the scenes. Speaking of which, we've had a lot of listeners reach out with their own stories, haven't we?
Yes, absolutely. One listener, Sam, shared his story with us. He was working in a dead-end job in retail, feeling stuck and unfulfilled. But Sam had always been passionate about cooking. So he decided to start cooking meals for friends and family in his free time, posting pictures of his dishes online. Slowly he began gaining followers and attention.
That's a fantastic story. So what happened next? Did Sam turn that passion into something more?
He did. After months of experimenting and refining his craft, Sam decided to start offering private cooking classes and catering services. At first, he was just making extra money on the side, but over time, demand grew. He eventually saved enough money to open his own small restaurant. Now, he's got a thriving business, and his passion for cooking turned into a career. But what really stands out to me is how hard work, combined with following his passion, led to a complete life transformation.
That's so powerful. It's amazing to see how Sam took something he loved and built it into a business. It reminds me that hard work doesn't always mean grinding away at something you hate. When you love what you do, it becomes easier to put in the effort day after day.
Exactly. Passion is the fuel and hard work is the engine. But it's not all smooth sailing. Sam faced numerous setbacks, financial struggles, learning the ropes of running a business, long nights and weekends working to build his brand. But through it all, he remained committed.
That's a good reminder. Success doesn't happen overnight, and there will always be obstacles. But when you're truly passionate about something, those obstacles feel more like challenges to overcome rather than roadblocks.
Exactly, Adam. And that's something we've been hearing from our listeners. One of them, Ava, shared how she went from being a stay-at-home mum to becoming a fitness coach. She told us that she used to feel like her dreams were put on hold while raising her kids. But one day, she decided to get back in shape and became so passionate about fitness that she started helping others do the same.
Wow, that's incredible. So Ava transformed her own life through hard work and then helped others transform theirs?
Exactly. She started small by offering online fitness coaching. It wasn't easy, especially with her responsibilities as a mother, but she kept going. She studied nutrition and exercise science during her late-night study sessions and gradually built a reputation in the fitness community. Today, she runs a successful coaching business and even launched her own fitness app.
That's such an amazing transformation. It shows that hard work doesn't have to be a huge leap. Sometimes it's just about taking one step at a time, no matter how small, towards something you're passionate about.
Exactly. And Ava's story highlights the importance of not letting life's demands hold you back. She showed that you can chase your dreams at any stage in life, as long as you're committed and willing to put in the work.
Such an inspiring story. And to all of our listeners, we want to hear your stories too. Whether you've started a new career, taken on a personal challenge, or overcome a setback, we'd love to know how hard work has shaped your life.
Absolutely. We want to hear from all of you. Your story might just be the one that inspires someone else to keep going, no matter what they're facing. So don't hesitate to reach out through our social media or email. We're always excited to hear from our listeners.
Sharing your story not only motivates others, but it also reinforces your own journey. Sometimes, telling your story out loud helps you realize just how far you've come.
And that's what we're all about here, encouraging each other and sharing the power of hard work. So please reach out, share your story, and let's continue to celebrate the real journeys of everyday people who are making a difference, one step at a time.
Sophia, we've heard some incredibly inspiring stories today, but let's talk about the challenges many people face on their journey to success. Often hard work is part of the equation, but there are these invisible barriers that hold people back. What do you think are some of the biggest barriers to success?
That's such an important question, Adam. There are so many barriers, but the biggest ones usually stem from self-doubt, fear of failure, and societal limitations. Many people have dreams and ambitions, but they get caught up in these mental blocks that make it feel impossible to move forward.
Self-doubt is a huge one. I've seen it in so many people, and it can be paralyzing. They think, I'm not good enough, or I don't have what it takes, and it stops them from even trying. How do you think we can break through that barrier?
Great question. The first step is recognizing that everyone experiences self-doubt, even the most successful people. It's part of being human. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the ability to take action despite the doubt. It's about embracing that fear and doing it anyway.
So it's not about eliminating self-doubt completely, but learning how to work through it?
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the fear and not letting it control your actions. You can take small steps toward your goal, and each small success builds confidence. So, even if you're afraid, you don't have to let it hold you back. Each step forward is proof that you can overcome it.
I love that. It's about shifting the mindset from I can't to I will, even if I'm scared. But there are also external barriers, right? What are some societal or structural obstacles that hold people back? That's a really important point. We talk a lot about hard work, but without the right opportunities, it can be harder to reach success. What can we do to help break down these external barriers?
One way to break these barriers is through education and mentorship. When we have access to the right information and guidance, it can level the playing field. Mentors can provide valuable advice, help you navigate challenges, and introduce you to new opportunities that you might not have had access to on your own.
Mentorship is key, and I think a lot of people don't realize how powerful it can be. Someone who's been through the same struggles can really help you see things from a different perspective and show you ways to overcome the challenges you might be facing.
Exactly. And there's also the power of community. Building a network of supportive people can make a world of difference. When you surround yourself with people who encourage and motivate you, it makes it easier to stay focused and keep pushing forward, even when the road gets tough.
It's interesting how much the people around you influence your success. It's like the old saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those people are positive, driven, and supportive, you'll feel more empowered to succeed.
That's so true. The people you associate with can either lift you up or hold you back. So, choosing your circle wisely is crucial. But let's also talk about another barrier: fear of failure. A lot of people are so afraid of failing that they don't even start the journey.
Yes. Fear of failure can be a massive obstacle. It's like you're holding yourself back because you're afraid of what might happen if things don't go as planned.
Here's the thing: failure isn't the end of the road, it's a learning opportunity. Every successful person has failed multiple times, but they didn't let it stop them. They saw failure as feedback, something to learn from, adjust, and move forward with. The key is to reframe failure as a stepping stone, not a roadblock.
That's such a powerful way to look at it. Failure as feedback. I think once you embrace that mindset, failure becomes less intimidating because you realize it's not the end. It's part of the process.
Exactly. And another barrier we can't overlook is the misconception that success happens quickly. Society often promotes instant gratification. Look at social media, for example. People see others achieving big things and think they can get there overnight, but in reality, success is a slow, steady process that requires persistence.
That's a huge one. In today's world, we're so used to quick results, whether it's fast food, instant messaging, or streaming shows all at once, that we forget success takes time. It's about consistency, patience, and hard work over the long haul.
Absolutely. One of the best things we can do is remind ourselves that success doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's built through consistent effort, overcoming obstacles, and learning from mistakes along the way. When we break down these barriers, both internal and external, we start to see that success is more accessible than we think.
So, to summarize, how do we break down these barriers? First, we confront our own self-doubt and fear of failure. Second, we take action even when it's scary. And third, we build support systems through mentorship, community, and surrounding ourselves with the right people.
Exactly. It's also important to remember that progress isn't linear. There will be setbacks and challenges, but each one is an opportunity to grow and learn. The more we understand the barriers, the better equipped we are to break through them and continue moving forward.
Such great insights, Sophia. And to our listeners, if you're facing any of these barriers, don't feel like you're alone. Everyone faces challenges on their journey. The key is to keep moving forward, one step at a time, and remember that success is within reach if you're willing to push through. So, Sophia, we've spent a lot of time talking about hard work and pushing through obstacles. But here's something that's often overlooked: the balance between hustle and rest. In today's world, it's almost like we're expected to be constantly on the go, hustling 24/7. But what happens when we push ourselves too hard without taking time to rest?
That's such a crucial point, Adam. Hustle is often glorified, and while hard work is undeniably important, it's equally important to understand that rest is just as necessary. If you're constantly hustling and never taking time to recharge, eventually you'll burn out. It's like a car. You can keep driving it, but eventually it needs fuel and maintenance to keep going.
Exactly. And burnout can be a serious issue. I've seen so many people who started with great energy, pushing themselves nonstop, but over time, they completely burn out and struggle to keep going. It's almost like they're running on empty.
Exactly. The hustle culture often promotes the idea that you need to work non-stop to be successful. But that kind of thinking can be damaging in the long run. When we don't take time to rest, we're not just affecting our physical health, but our mental well-being too. Chronic stress can lead to anxiety, depression, and even affect our decision-making ability.
It's so true. We often think that if we're not working, we're not progressing. But I've found that sometimes, stepping back and taking a break can actually lead to more clarity and better ideas. Rest allows your brain to process information and recharge, so you can come back even stronger.
Absolutely. Rest is not just about sleeping or taking a nap. It's about giving yourself permission to step away from the grind. Whether that's taking a walk, spending time with loved ones, or engaging in a hobby that brings you joy, these moments of rest can be incredibly restorative.
That's a great point, Sophia. Rest doesn't have to mean doing nothing. It just means stepping away from work to recharge in a way that's personal to you. I know for me, taking a few hours to read a book or going on a hike helps clear my mind and gives me a fresh perspective.
Exactly. And rest doesn't mean you're lazy. It's a strategic part of the process. When you take time to rest, you're actually improving your productivity and creativity in the long run. I think we all need to redefine what it means to be productive. It's not just about working non-stop. It's about working smart and recognizing when you need to pause.
Yes. And here's something interesting. Research has shown that productivity isn't a linear curve. In fact, studies have found that people who take regular breaks tend to be more productive than those who don't. It's like giving your brain the time it needs to process and reset. So when you get back to work, you're more focused and effective.
I love that. The work harder mentality doesn't always work. The key is to work efficiently and sustainably. Hustle doesn't mean working yourself into the ground. It means putting in the effort when it counts and knowing when to rest and recharge. It's a long-term game.
Exactly. So how do we find that balance between pushing ourselves to hustle and taking the necessary time to rest? What are some practical ways we can achieve this balance?
One way to achieve balance is by setting boundaries. It's easy to fall into the trap of working late or saying yes to everything. But it's important to know when to say no and protect your personal time. For instance, setting aside time in your day or week for self-care activities, whether that's exercise, meditation, or simply taking time off, is essential.
Boundaries are key. I think a lot of people feel guilty about taking time off, like they're not doing enough. But the truth is, rest is essential for long-term success. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you give your best to your work?
Exactly. Another way to balance hustle and rest is by practicing time management. You can schedule your work and your rest in a way that feels intentional. For example, you might work in focused blocks of time, say 90 minutes, and then take a 10 to 15-minute break. This helps keep your energy up while also ensuring that you don't overwork yourself.
I love that approach. Working in blocks of time makes things feel more manageable. And when you take those breaks, it's important to step away from your work entirely. Whether it's going for a walk, stretching, or having a snack, that physical separation from your tasks allows your brain to rest and recover.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the importance of sleep. Sleep is one of the most crucial aspects of rest. It's during sleep that your body repairs itself and your brain processes information. Without enough sleep, your productivity, focus, and overall well-being can suffer. So, prioritize good sleep hygiene and aim for 7 to 8 hours each night.
That's something that's often overlooked, how sleep can directly impact your performance. If you're staying up late working, thinking you're being productive, but then you're groggy and unfocused the next day, it's really counterproductive.
Exactly. And beyond sleep, just having downtime to think, reflect, and disconnect from the constant noise of work is essential. Whether that means spending time with family, engaging in creative activities, or just sitting in silence, those moments of stillness can help us recharge in ways that working constantly never can.
That's a great point. It's all about balance. You can't just go full throttle all the time, because eventually you'll hit a wall. Rest is the fuel that keeps your engine running smoothly. So, it's about giving yourself permission to rest, and remembering that taking time off doesn't mean you're not working hard. It means you're being smart about your energy and well-being.
Exactly, Adam. The ultimate goal is sustainability. Success isn't about sprinting for a short period of time. It's about running the marathon. When you find that balance between hustle and rest, you can keep running for the long haul and achieve the success you're working towards.
Well said, Sophia. To all our listeners out there, remember, rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So, listen to your body, take time for yourself, and make sure you're recharging your energy. The hustle is important, but it's the balance that will lead to lasting success.
Exactly. And don't feel guilty about taking a break. It's part of the process, and in the long run, it will make you stronger, more focused, and more productive. So, let's all aim for that balance and keep pushing forward.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We hope this conversation helps you reframe how you approach hard work and rest. We'll be back soon with more insights, so stay tuned.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.